They ended up prescribing me another heavy medication because they were afraid that I was going to relapse. All it did was make things worse, because that medication that they prescribed me to keep me from using opiates was a heavier medication and much harder to get off of. And the only thing that helped me get off of that was cannabis. My name is Amanda Bordenca. I'm from Maynard, Massachusetts. I went to school for IT cybersecurity, currently work in the tech field remotely. As a teenager, I used it recreationally, kind of like a rebellious teenager. Little did I know that it was having medical benefits at the time, because I was already being treated for mental health disorders from the age of 13. I couldn't laugh at things that I knew were funny. I was genuinely sad when I woke up in the morning. I was scared. I was like in a constant state of fear, which led me to go to the doctors. I ended up being diagnosed with bipolar disorder, panic disorder, and generalized anxiety. They immediately put me on a medication, which automatically caused more issues than I was currently experiencing. Doctors are telling me that this is the route that we need to go. My senior year, something triggered my brain to panic. And it was so bad that I could no longer go to school. I couldn't call people, even my own friends. I couldn't go to their houses. I generally could not leave my house. So it turned into agoraphobia, which was the fear of the outdoors. I had a fear of everything. When I explained to people that I had these issues, it was kind of like, that's life. I don't think that's how life goes. I don't think it's normal to wake up sad when you have zero reasons to be sad. Just deal with it. Everybody feels anxious. To this extent, I can't even pick up the phone to order a pizza. I was diagnosed with like 5 different disorders, and then they add another one and another one, and they're all comorbid. Meanwhile, they put you on all sorts of medications where, yes, it might help something, but the likelihood of it having a negative effect on you was more than the positive effect. But I trusted them, and I went with what they told me, and it wasn't working. It's basically like I had been chasing this happiness and this peace within me that just didn't exist. And I gave up. I completely gave up. I still took their medications, but it wasn't making me happy. I hated who I was. I just was completely self-destructive. When you get to a point of not caring anymore, and you will literally do anything to numb yourself. And so I ended up using drugs. Somebody at some point ended up giving me an opiate. It must have been like a Percocet, and it immediately numbed me. I didn't feel anything. I felt calm. I felt relaxed. I didn't feel depressed. I didn't expect to become addicted to the substance that I was using recreationally, but then it became me chasing it. I ended up using Percocet and OxyContin. That turned into an addiction of opiates for 2 years. I lost everything. I lost any bit of hope. I realized that I had lost all my friends. My family was completely disappointed in me. That really killed me. I remember telling my mother, can you please help me? Call somewhere and try to get me in somewhere. And my mother ended up getting me into McLean Hospital. And immediately my drug addict mind was like, no, I don't want to go. I don't want to do this. I need to do drugs before I go. But luckily, I spent a little over a week there. I would spend about 4 to 5 hours talking to people all day long, which I absolutely loved. People actually heard me, and they were like, I get it. I get it. You didn't want to be like this. You just didn't want to feel like that. So the first few months that I went to this outpatient, obviously I was being drug screened, and they noticed that I was still using marijuana. And they weren't too thrilled about that. But when I had a one-on-one with my doctor at the time and I explained to him, marijuana is the only thing keeping me attached to this life, because I feel like garbage from both of these medications at all times. And the only thing that keeps me okay and feeling like I'm a human is cannabis. My doctor ended up being 100% okay with me using marijuana. And then I found Leafwell. So I set up an appointment. I spoke to the doctor. The doctor was absolutely great. I told her all of this and she agreed. and she knew I was a candidate for medical. Once I got this medical card, it was like a whole new world. I could be very specific about how to treat myself. I could target certain terpenes or cannabinoids that I knew were effective for certain issues I might have, like stress or nausea or anxiety or anything like that. I've been able to actually come off of my psychiatric medication now, and that didn't happen until I finally got my medical card. That is the only reason that I was able to be who I am today, because had I been stuck on that other medication, I don't think I would be where I am today at all. I don't think that I would have had the chance to redeem myself. I've been sober since 2011, and I can tell you that that medication that they prescribed me, it wasn't that medication that made me not want to use. The therapy and the cannabis is what kept it all together.
Learn more about cannabis and begin your medical cannabis journey at leafwell.com.